Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Ehrman.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, today we are going to talk about a hot topic, which has come up a lot lately, and that is retirement plans. I know that I am on my Farming Without the Bank podcast. I know it. However, most of you that I talk to are working off the farm, or you have worked off the farm at one point, and we have a 401k, IRAs, whatever. Or maybe we are just being really good planners for retirement and we're putting money into IRAs. If farming and ranching is good, that is where our accountant tells us to put money. And so now what's happening with the markets being where they are, people are not wanting to have their money there. They don't like the risk of it. And I have been talking about this forever. It is not a hidden fact that I hate the stock market because guess what? There is a chapter in both of my books called The Market Scam. Yes, because I believe it is a scam. Now, you can argue with me all day long. That's okay. We don't have to agree with it. But here, let's talk about what is happening. So everything that I listen to, and I've talked about this for months as well, you guys know that I listen to the Wealthy On podcast. That podcast, he has great people that he interviews on that podcast, and they talk about what's happening in the market. They talk about what you should have your money invested in. They're talking about what's going on in the global economy, what's going on with the dollar, gold, silver, energy, stock, oil, that kind of stuff. I don't own any of it. Guys, I own nothing in the stock market. Zero IRAs, zero anything to do with the market. It is not my thing. I would rather have access to my money. So here are the questions that people are asking me. Is Mary Jo, what do I do with my 401k? Can I take it out? Now, I am not an expert. I am not a financial advisor. So you are going to want to talk to your HR department to see what you can and can't do if you have a 401k. But you cannot, in most cases, if you are working at an employer, you cannot take out the money. You could borrow it, you can stop contributing, but you can't take it out until you're 59 and a half or you stop employment with that employer. That is typical. Now, it might be something different for you. Talk to the HR department. If you are contributing, and this is what I've been seeing a lot, is people that are really, really good savers. And they've listened to all the other gurus in the industry. And those gurus say you should put away 10%, 15%, max out your IRAs, max out your Roth, max out your 401k, max out your IRA. Self-directed, whatever it might be. Max it out every single year. Now, if you're getting a match, think about this. The more money that you put into a retirement account, the more fees for management you have. Because those fees are not always, again, but typically if you are getting charged with fees, those fees are typically charged based on how big your portfolio is. So it's not just a flat fee. It's a percentage of the portfolio. And so when I run the numbers, I use the Truth Concepts calculators and there's a qualified plan calculator. If I run that calculator, if you're putting in 10%, but your employer is only matching 3%, then the majority of what you're putting in is creating such an astronomical fee, it's almost eating up the match. So basically, your match is going to pay for your fees. At the end of the day, that might not be a bad thing if depending on how you look at it. Some people will look at it and say, well, what's the point of taking the match and even putting the money there then? That's how I would look at it. Why would I put my money into a system that has risk? I can't access it till I'm 59 and a half. I don't pay tax on it today. I pay tax on it tomorrow. Tax brackets are going to most likely be higher. I have a 10% penalty if I do need to access it, which y'all know I call it the dumb tax because they think we're too dumb to access our money. Or some people could look at it and say, well, you know what? I'm going to put 10% there. At least they pay for my fees and all my 10% is they're making money. Now, if you are putting 10% of your money there and you are making money because you're managing it yourself, you're moving it around, you're actually doing something with it instead of being a passive investor, then fantastic. That's great. Keep doing that. But if you are the typical American that is a passive investor, you are not making 10%. You may have lost 20 to 30% last year. You may have lost a ton of money between January and March. And now all of a sudden, guess what? We've lost. I talked to somebody the other day. They lost like $30,000 last year. That's insane. And so why are we putting all this money there at risk? Can we instead, maybe you say, you know what, I'm not going to give up the match. I want the free money. So I'm just going to lower what I put in. And people do that all the time. I bet in the last 3 to 4 weeks, I get 1 to 2, maybe 3 emails a week saying, Mary Jo, I'm cashing out my 401k. Now, this is not my advice given to them. I cannot give you advice. If you come to me and say, Mary Jo, what should I do with my 401k? Should I cash it out? I'm not telling you yes or no because I can't give you that advice. So it's not like I'm telling people to do this, but they are reading the book and saying, why do I have money here in a 401k, in an IRA, in a brokerage account? Why am I putting my money here when I could be using that money to expand my operation? I could be using that money for operating. There's one that we've talked about a lot in the last couple of months because operating is anywhere between 8 and 9%. So now we have all this money sitting in an IRA and we can't use it. So instead we go to the bank and borrow operating notes at 9%. Well, what if we would just use that money? What if mom and dad have a whole bunch of money in an IRA and they're not making anything and the market's supposed to go up and down according to all the gurus I listen to? So the market's supposed to be really volatile this year. So what if mom and dad who are over 59 and a half actually borrowed or took out some of their money and lent it to us at 6-7%? That would even be, I'm not saying they should give you a deal. If you're going to pay the bank 9, give them 9 because it's your inheritance. You just have to make sure that you pay it back. If you don't pay it back, they shouldn't be lending you any money. If you can't manage your money, you should not be borrowed money, right? Or lend money. You shouldn't be borrowing anything if you can't pay for it. It's that simple. And so if you have money there, think about what is happening with the money. It's at risk. Do you know better how to use it yourself? I even have clients that borrow money from their 401k and use that for operating because the borrowed money is about 4.5%, maybe 5%. I haven't ever seen anything over 4.5%. And supposedly it goes back into your account. And so if you can borrow money without penalty and pay it back, that's great. The only difference is They will garnish your wages, or you have an absolute set plan of how that gets paid back. I talked to somebody a couple of weeks ago that they borrowed money to use it and they could not pay that loan back early. And so if you can't pay your loan back early, that might be something that you don't want to have either. So make sure if you are borrowing money, you are reading the terms of that loan from your IRA or your 401k. Talk to the people that have your investments. Think about where those investments are. If you guys have heard my story, I lost money in 08 and 09. I heard about the infinite banking concept. I completely cashed out my IRA and I put it into, that is how I started my life insurance policy. Where I'm at today is quadruple, like a million times where I would be if I would have just left it in the IRA. And of course, the second that I called and said, I want my money, they're like, oh, we should talk. No, we should have talked and you should have done your job before I lost 40%. Oh, the market crashed. The market crashed and you should have been watching that. That is what an investor's job is. If I have somebody managing my money, the job is that they manage it, not passively put it on a shelf and forget about the fact that it's there. These financial advisors, oh my gosh, they make their, you guys know, they think that they can just, it's okay if we lose your money. This is why I love that podcast Wealthy On so much, because those financial advisors are not passive. They had their people's money out of the market. They were watching what was going on globally. They're watching what's happening to the US dollar. They talk about it. What is happening with China right now, not buying US oil, and especially not going to buy anything with the US dollar. They're going to go to the Soviet Union and buy oil because we've joined up with Ukraine. What dynamic does that change for us financially, for our dollar, right? For our oil industry, for our country? How does that affect what is going on a global scale? It is not just, oh, what did the Dow do today? What did the S&P do today? Because of what the president may have said, or whatever crisis we decide to bring to attention today. It's not that simple. And that is how most financial advisors do it. They're just sitting in front of their TV, watching the stock market, deciding what they're going to do. Are they looking at the history? Are they studying the history? And when I say history, I don't mean, oh, we're just going to study back to 08 and 09. No, we are going to study the history. When I talk about, or when I listen to these people on this podcast talk about the history, 100 years of what's been going on in the market and what's been going on globally, how is that affecting everything? That makes sense in my brain. So do I want my money sitting with a passive investor who decides to just come into my company and write all 100 employees on a 401k and put it on a shelf and not do anything? It's very easy for a financial advisor to just come into your business and say, hey, let me offer your employees a 401k. Because employees think that that's a great incentive. No, I don't give my employees a 401k. Even if they asked for it, they're not going to get one. And I should, because as an employer, I get a great tax deduction to do that. I'm not doing it. No, why would I do that? Use your money for something today. I don't care what you do with it. I don't care if they take it and give it to their financial advisor. I'm not going to be responsible for that. And what's going to happen is employees are going to figure out that they can sue their employer for mismanagement of the money. Yes, because the employer hired the passive investor who didn't do his job. And now it's on the employer to determine that that guy's not doing his job and to once again manage your money, the employee, because you choose not to pay attention to it. So y'all know that my husband, he was union for 21 years. Not that he loves it, but that's where he worked, okay? All the guys that he worked with, who I love, they're all great people. They were all mad when the pension isn't going to be there. All of them. And I'm sitting back here, and of course, I don't keep my mouth shut because that's just not how I work. And so they're all mad because their pension has been mismanaged. I said, well, did you guys pay attention to it? Well, no. Who pays attention, right? The union steward. So then we put all of our faith into the union steward that he's managing the money. I had a client that was also part of a union. He was in charge of the financial part of the union. He was in charge of the 401k, how all the investments were going, all that good stuff. He really thought he knew something. And he didn't like the life insurance policy because it wasn't giving him as big of a rate of return as his pension. So why would I not just put this money into an IRA or put it into my pension? Okay, so when the pension managers came to town, he would pick them up at the airport and they would wine and dine him. Very much like what happens in the life insurance industry. All these companies will come in and they're like, oh, Mary Jo, can I take you for supper? Oh, Mary Jo. First of all, what the hell are you wasting your money for flying into town to take me to supper? We could have just done a Zoom meeting. And you don't have to wine and dine me. How about you do your job, you show me your numbers, and I can see that you're a good company. That's all I care about is protecting my client. I spend my own money because most likely my own money will be there in a policy. No, instead you're going to come to town and wine and dine me. And I'm going to say, oh, that guy is so nice. Of course, he wouldn't do anything wrong. And guess what? I know my job. I don't know how to be a pension manager. And so now we have an employee deciding that he is for the whole entire company. He is going to decide that, yep, these guys are good and our pension is fine. Okay, that's great. So now all the other employees trust that you're doing your job. Now, when you didn't do your job, if you are one of the other employees, you do not get to say anything if you didn't say anything the whole time, because you should have been paying attention to it. Do I allow my husband to say anything about his pension not being there? No. No. He should have paid attention while he was working there. He should have seen what was happening. They should have been asking questions. Instead, they punch a clock, they go to work, and they never asked anything. So if your financial advisor is not doing his job and you're not asking them questions and you're not pushing back and you are not making them do their job, can you even sit there and say, you know what, it's their fault? You can't tell your employer it's his fault because he didn't hire a good manager if you were not paying attention until it was too late. We have to start paying attention to our money. And we have been brainwashed to believe if we put our money into a 401k or an IRA, it's all okay to just leave it there and be passive and be okay that the market goes up and down. No, I just cannot even wrap my head around why that is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. So if you are in a position where you know what's happening with the market, you're maybe listening to the Wealthy On podcast now. If you are, fantastic, let me know if you like it. But if you're in that position questioning what you want to do, here is all I have to say. I know I've been going on for like 16 minutes already, and I'm still talking about it. But here is what it comes down to, basically. Do you want access to your money today? Because do we need it for operating? Do we need it to buy land? Do we need it to expand? Do we need it to start a business? If that is the case, then you may be better off to say, you know what, I'm not putting any more money in. Or maybe I will take the hit and take it out. Think about it. What could you do with it? Now, sometimes it might be better to keep it there. That decision is yours. But I am giving you permission to at least think about it, because so many people are just like, nope, I can't. I can't touch it. Nope. They can't even rationalize it because we have been so ingrained to think it has to stay there till we're 59 and a half. And hold on, because it'll come back. Bogus, you guys. Absolutely bogus. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I don't want you to do. Don't go, oh, Mary Jo said that, I should just take this money out and start a business. Don't do that and then think that you're not going to have to put your work into your business. I took my money out and I worked my you-know-what off so that I'm here where I'm at today. I took the risk. I didn't shut up. I haven't shut up for 13 years. And so don't think that, I'm just going to take this money out. I'm going to go start this business. I don't care if it's window washing. I don't care if it's manure hauling. I don't care what it is. Don't think that you're going to start this business and just say, you know what, I'm going to go get a business name and everybody's going to start calling. That is not how that happens. You're going to have to tell everybody. You're going to have to market. You're going to have to talk to people. It's going to require the money and the work because not all businesses succeed because people don't put the time and effort into it and they give up too soon. Pay attention to what's going on. Think about what you're doing with that money and could it be better utilized even if you just stopped contributing? What if that money was put into a life insurance policy instead? What if inside the investment, instead of putting it in stocks, we move it to bonds and money market, which is exactly what Wealthion is saying and what I've been talking about forever. I don't like risk. I don't want risk. I think it's stupid to lose money. It's that simple. Those are my beliefs. You can agree or not. Okay, you guys, that's all I'm going to say about that. If you are in and around the Arkansas area, and it is going to be in, let me look, the Ozark Beef Initiative. They are having a micro conference, and it is going to be in Prairie Grove, Arkansas, May 6th, and I will be speaking at that conference. So if you are in and around Prairie Grove, Arkansas, Saturday, May 6th is the conference. Go to beefinitiative.com and then you can go to events and it will take you to the Ozark Initiative event. There is a handful of speakers. One of my clients is putting the conference on. I'm super excited to speak there. So if you are looking and wondering, hey, where's Mary Jo going to be at in the near future? That's where I'm going to be. So let me know. As always, let me know if you need anything. Mary Jo at withoutthebank.com. Otherwise, that's it. That's all I got today. I'm going to end with some German passion. Let me know if you need me. Otherwise, go grab the books, set up your appointment, and then we'll get you all scheduled and we'll go from there. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.